Alright, y'all. Welcome to another episode of DWC for Dummies.
Big dummy.
Give me some of that fist bump and all of that. How y'all been doing? Of course, I'm the host, Old Man. You know what we're doing here? We're putting bubbles on this stuff here. No soil, just bubbles, right? That's just what we do. That's what we do. All right, welcome to journey number 5. Nice look at the board here, everybody. I'm going to pull off this coffee. And while we're at it, since this is a new beginning, journey number 5, in the Gorilla Grow tent here in the building on the back 40. Appreciate y'all following along for all these wonderful journeys. All right, then. Hey, it's here. Let's get lifted, y'all. All right, here. All right, again, we are in journey number 5. I'll throw some shots in here of what I've done so far. And before I do that, I'm going to change things up. Flip the script. Boom. All right, normally we would cover this side up because that would be our seed to harvest. And seed to harvest take a lot longer to collect video footage. So you don't want to give things away, so I don't really like to reveal that. Well, we've had some disasters, right? Beginnings. It's okay to fail, right? And that's okay. You live and learn, right? Even though mic down. Lord only knows how long that was happening for. So I'll try to back up just slightly. So normally we would have this side here covered because it would be a seed harvest. It takes a while to collect that footage. And I don't want to give away anything that would be occurring, but we keep it real here. 100, right? So it's okay to fail. It's okay to pop some seeds and then kill them, right? I mean, you don't want that to happen, right? Because seeds aren't cheap. Unless you know a guy. You got a guy who's just feeding you seeds saying, hey, see what you can do with it. If you know a guy. Anyway, I'm still on that squirrel CO2 production, even though there's not really any reason right now. I did not have my cycle correct. And you might have seen there on the calendar, I've got a surgery coming up, so things been all kind of haywire here in the land of the old man. So I'm going to try to make sure that I stay on top of a Wednesday and a Saturday video, and if not, it may be a week or two without any uploads. I apologize. I just got some stuff I'm dealing with, so appreciate y'all bearing with me through it. But we do have some things that will be in the works, that will be moving along. But because of everything that's going on in my life, and I'm trying to keep it real, I am not going to do a seed to harvest this time, right? I just really am not going to have the time to juggle all that footage and keep up with where am I here and where am I there. So I'm just going to do a live video. We'll do this all the way through. Journey 5 will just be the tent and the box all together at the same time. They're kind of timed the same now. The Gorilla Jealousy is what we are going to in the box. And all right, cool. It made it back. There you go. I'm hungry. All right, so like we've discussed in the past, I've tried to always have like a cycle going so that things work out best for you all and for me as well. But again, life happens, right? So here we are, beginnings, and it's okay to fail. And we killed 2 blueberry pie fasts. And a lot of it may have to do with these new peat moss sponges that we've ordered. I don't really think that it's this product. I think it's how I'm using this product. So I'm going to try not to murder another little baby and try to get us something going in the box. Now, as you can see here, we have some words on the board, which means some activity has occurred. So Gorilla Jealousy is what we've popped, and we did that on the 11th. That was day 1. So today is the 13th. We're going to go ahead. We saw a little bit of a tail there. We're going to put it on the sponge, and I'll put those videos in here, how I'm going to make these new sponges work and how to address the issue that I'm having with the 2 blueberry pies that I messed up. But we'll cover that in the next couple of days, couple of videos. It may be, again, a week or 2. I got a procedure, so again, I'm going to try to keep it real with y'all, and hopefully it's just normal, in and out, right? That's what they say. Oh, it's going to be easy. But y'all seen ER before and all those medical dramas. Oh, if only we would have known. We didn't know until we cut him open. So we hope that doesn't happen, but I will try to continuously have something up for you with maybe a gap of a week or 2, depending on how things go. So again, appreciate y'all bearing with me through that. But with our fuel DOG, I'm going to throw some shots in here. Maybe I already have. Who knows what the editor's doing these days? Oh, that guy, the editing staff. Ugh, needy little bunch they are. Anyway, on the 12th, which was yesterday, I went ahead and put them on in some sponges. Now, if you haven't seen any of our other videos, check them out when it comes to how we use a soil-free system here. We use the hydro bucket and all of the products that come with it, like the hydro plug and the hydro pod or Q pod, whatever they call them. But it's a sponge. I don't know the exact material, but it kind of mimics almost this peat moss sponges that I have. But it's a good dense sponge that kind of mimics the compression of soil without any of the impurities, I guess, or risks. I won't say impurities because I don't know nothing about soil, so I don't want to have that taken the wrong way. But the risks that come along with soil, with little bugs and stuff, maybe you don't know how to deal with all that. You're not a living soil guy. Who knows? Anyway, there's no soil here, so it's just the water. We use the sponges. You soak the sponge for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then you put the seed into the sponge. And then I'll show you what I've done with them. I put a baggie on them, put them in a solo cup, keep them in the dark for about 12 to 24 hours after you do that, and then introduce them into some low-grade light, high humidity, however you can make a humidity dome on them, right? So you're basically mimicking soil and the processes, but being able to kind of like see the processes. So if you don't see any activity, you can kind of spread that sponge apart and you can say, oh, right there it is. It turned sideways. I need to help it by adjusting it, or it's stuck there with the seed shell on it and it needs that adjustment to help get it out of the surface of the soil, right? It just makes it a little more controllable by using this method. So it's a little more peace of mind for me. But other than that, in the beginnings, there's not really a lot going on. You use the processes that you have used in the past that have been successful, and you try to replicate that. But that doesn't mean that every seed is going to be as jump on your bandwagon and do what you want it to do, right? Some of them are going to be finicky. One of those fuel DOGs, it has slight activity, but not really like a taproot that wants to come out. It slightly came out, but not really. It's just kind of like peeking out, like, what do I do now? Right? So I went ahead and, maneuvered it a little bit in the sponge to make sure that it's in the appropriate position where hopefully it goes searching down for the water. Because what we've done is we've put, here, I can stop being so selfish with the shot here and actually show you, right? I have the props, I have everything that I need to show you right here. Okay, so alright, so solo cup. On the side of the solo cup, we have just a little bit of RO water. And you can see it dripped off the bottom. It comes into the sponge about this high, right? The seed's about right around the top here, so it'll search for water. So what I do is I just keep a little bit of water in here so that it gets to the bottom of this. And then I will put a little bit of I'll put a baggie over the top just to try to create a humidity dome. And this one, you can see it's already trying to push out of the soil surface. I can see the seed shell and that little bit of a hook right before it would do this and pop out of the soil, right? So I know this one is doing really well. So because when I woke up and saw that this morning, I decided, okay, well, that was enough dark stimulus where they're trying to find the light, right? So now I've got them in the tent with a slight amount of light. Again, you can see just a little bit of moisture to here, and it's just sitting in it. Again, that's just RO water, and I'll change that out daily until I can get enough of a taproot out of that sponge to introduce them into some nutrients. But basically, I'll show you. Having problems with this tripod guy. The clamp isn't working well. But anyway, okay, so I have the Gorilla Grow tent, of course. I'm trying to keep it very humid in here because they really like it about 0.8 VPD. So I lowered the light all the way down. I've got them in this. There's no water in there or anything like that. The water, again, are in the solo cups. But again, I've got this lowered. I've got a par reading roughly about 135 right here. So then humidity dome and everything else, hopefully in another 24 hours, we will see at least one we know that's hooked and ready to go bloop and pop out, right? So I don't want to waste this humidity that I'm creating up here, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing shut real quick. Again, they like about 0.8, right? VPD, and you can set. Just make sure this shut. If I can get over here past all the Picture Man lights. If you've got your wonderful AC Infinity 69 Pro controller. I don't have that fancy new AI plus one or whatever it is. That one's pretty nice. Check out Pigeon's 420. He's got some videos on those. But anyway, let me get, that's empty. Everything's empty. And right now I really don't have to stay hardcore on my water either, because again, all we have is the two little seeds in the sponges that we just showed you. So that's hopefully going to be the two plants that will get us through the summer, right? They're both sativa, a little bit more heat resistant, so going to be tall, so it's going to take a lot of training, I would assume. But if I only get one out of there, then that's kind of It's kind of what I wanted to do in the first place. When I first got the tent, I wanted to do a humongous fuel DOG. Just one, and fill the whole tent, which would be easy with some training, especially something that wants to stretch real tall. So if fate has it that only one pops and is successful, then that's just what we're going to do. And that's what season or journey 5 will be. It'll be just one fuel DOG. So number 1 right now is the one that looks the most predominant. Number 2 is the one that could surprise us, right? And we're going to throw a Gorilla Jealousy in here, and we're going to run it on the whole journey, all no seed to harvest this time. We'll see what happens down the road. Maybe I'll get back into that, but it's just a lot to juggle right now with everything that's going on with me. I do apologize for that. Let me know in the comments. If you want me to do a seed harvest, I'll find a way to figure it out. All right, so here we are, Gorilla Jealousy. I'm gonna pan on over here to the catch-all table, and we'll get that little lady on a sponge. Okay, so what we have here is a slotted cup here, a slotted cup here with our sponge in it. We are going to soak it for 3 to 5 minutes. We'll do that, and we'll come back and we'll get our little Gorilla Jealousy down and get her in the sponge. All right, so it's been roughly 3 to 5 minutes, and we can go ahead and pull this sponge out and compare so that we can see the difference. This is the size of it now. And this was the size of it pre-soak. So as you can see, considerable difference after the soak. But again, these are different than the sponges that come with the system. These are much heavier. So I think that's the problem that I've been having. I think I have a new solution where we're going to go with this, but for now, we're just going to get the Gorilla Jealousy drop down in here, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. Now, one of the things that I have to do with these, because it has this void right here, and maybe I could just drop it down in there, but I don't think that's good enough support. In fact, with the first blueberry pie, I found that it wasn't enough support. So I'm just gonna take this down in here, and then I'm just gonna kind of press it into my hand, trying to make kind of like a bookend, because at this point I just want to open this up. I'm going to place the new Gorilla Jealousy inside. There's this little shelf there. Try and keep it down there so there's some support. Then I'll tie some tie wire around it, but I'm going to knock off some of this loose sponge debris real quick, just because we don't want small little pieces getting down into our tank when it's all said and done, and then ending up into our suction line and then into our drain pump. And it takes a couple seconds to do something like that, but yeah, as you can see, it's you know, fairly opened up, and now I'll be able to just lay that seed down in here and then tie it up. All right, so sit that there, and then we'll grab our Gorilla Jealousy. A nice little curly cute tail. So then what I'd like to do is get it to land just on that shelf right there. Long way. about there. As you can see, it's there. But again, I like to be able to have access to our little baby. And that's, again, this isn't this is a new process because we're trying not to use the sponges that come with the box. So you don't want it to be too tight, right? But as you can see right there is perfect. So now, if I can get it to just sit there, I'll get a little bit of this food grade string. Cut a piece off. I'll just tie a little bow around it. Now again, you're not trying to make it too restrictive, but you're needing some support. So you need it to replicate as best as possible the kind of pressure that would exist in soil once it's compressed with water and things of that nature. Gravity. Alright, so I'll just give a nice little tug. And that's got our little gal down in there. You probably can't see too well, but it is down in there. I can show you. So it's down inside. And it has enough pressure, I think, so that it can grip really well around the sponge and begin to grow. Sometimes you can roll it up a little just to give it a little more pressure. Alright, and then I'll just slide it down inside this right here. And just work it around a little bit. And then what we'll do is I'll just dump this out. I'll come over here and I'll get some fresh RO water. I'm going to clean this out real quick just to be safe. Again, we're just trying to keep as little debris as possible from getting down inside of our pump when the end gets there. And again, at this point, the goal is to get enough water in here so that when this sits down inside, it gets just to the top of the water. A little too much. Because again, that's a sponge, so it will absorb water. A little bit more. So now we have it just at the bottom. Which is good because what you want for that tail to search down for water. That's what it would do naturally. So keep the water source below the sponge, allow the bottom of the sponge to stay moist, allow it to wick some water up. Sometimes just be cautious and pay attention to the top And just make sure it doesn't get dry or anything. Most of the time it won't, because again, it's a sponge. It's going to wick the water up. But now we're just going to sit this down inside the box. And all right, whoa, heater's still on. Okay, so I really would prefer it to be in the dark. So, and that just kind of promotes more. Sorry about that. So what I'll do is I'll shut this door. The light will go off because I haven't set it up yet for the new run. This picture man light. The light will go out. As you can see, it's dark inside. I'll do that for most of the day, maybe until tomorrow, or I will set it up tonight to come on tomorrow. But that is that process. Let me see if I can get the picture man light. Oh, wrong one. Got a lot going on in here. Holy moly. Okay, let's do this. And then we will do, there's the picture man light finally. Okay, there it is. A little bit of glare. So let's move up. All right, weird, horrible glare down there. Getting kind of warm out here, so I'm gonna get everything set up the way it's supposed to be. Appreciate y'all hanging out in the building on the back 40 for another episode of DWC for Dummies. There's that slow fist bump and all of that. No, I didn't like that one. Give me another one. Fist bump and all of that. All right then, y'all been real hanging out. Glad y'all showed up for another journey. This is journey number 5. Fuel DOG, and we're going to throw the Gorilla Jealousy in here for the whole run. No surprises. Keep it real. All right, y'all. We will see you, hopefully, if everything goes well, in a couple of days. Appreciate it, y'all. Fist bump and all of that.